What's going on, Cancer? I salute the divinity in you, and welcome to the Chariot Friends. Justin here. And how you feeling? You feeling ready to get things in order? We're in a reflecting part now. We're in that last. I like this part of the every lunar cycle where it's like we start off with the new moon of the in Virgo, and now we're ending on the waning crescent in Virgo. So it's like we're getting a little sliver into what is getting ready to come for the future. I just something about this period of time I really do enjoy. I feel like it's a really great time to just excuse me, a really great time to just kind of go within and you just kind of reflect on what happened during this month. This has been a very interesting, I feel, lunar cycle for sure. I'm not sure about for you, and if it has been, let me know what's been going on down in the description or in the description box in the comment section below. But before we get into all of that, if you're new to this channel, again, welcome. My name is Justin, and just know when you come across this video, you're in sync with the moon, and she loves that. But this is also a place if you happen to have Cancer in your placements, Sun, Moon, Rising, Mercury, wherever. This is for you. And I do tarot card spreads based upon ruler here, the good old moon. And I'll talk about what sign she's in, what phase she's in, and when she's going to avoid, of course, just all them lunar shenanigans. And just so you're all aware, this is a general reading, not a one-to-one. So take what fits into your story, discard the rest, and everything will be dope, Cancer. Now, let's jump into it. Because, yes. Well, let me bring the energy down. Well, no. Let me just bring it down a little bit because we are in that waning crescent phase. Like I was saying, this is a more kind of chill period phase for the moon here. So, but depending on when you're watching this, happy Sunday. The sun is associated with Sundays, and this I feel is a great time to just kind of check in with your energy, check in with with any sort of like downloads that may come in during this time. Maybe there's some kind of last minute intentions that you're wanting to add to your list before we wrap this stuff up, and then we'll be checking back again in on this phase of this little portion of your house. We'll check in on this point again next year in June. The 2nd of June is when we'll have our first quarter moon in Virgo for this cycle. So, but with Sundays, this could be a great time to do some things to just kind of get you built, kind of lit up. Whether this be focusing on some things that inspire you, some sort of like passion projects. This could be a great time to check in with your health, see how the vitality is doing. Maybe even I like to invite even during like the sun hours, maybe scheduling like a doctor's appointment, or maybe visiting a chiropractor, maybe you're doing some acupuncture, maybe doing like a Reiki healing session, whatever that may be looking like, but playing around with ours and see how that just kind of fills up your life force and how that energy and I like to even invite this as a time. Actually, let me get shuffling while I'm talking about this. But also, I feel like this could be a great time to just check in with your sun placement. How is that? Where is it placed? Is it in a favorable house, an unfavorable house? Is it in a strong sign? Like, how is your sun placement functioning? What is your relationship with that placement? How do you feel you're resonating with that portion or with that planet of your chart? So, I mean, the sun is the most important light. So definitely check into that. Now let's get into the lunar shenanigans because and I shouldn't say the sun is the most important, but it's one of the important ones. Ooh, very interesting. I think I'm going to get another one on that. We'll get into that in a moment. But on the 29th of September, September, the moon is going to be entering into Virgo at about 2:41 a.m. And like I was saying, she's in a waning crescent phase or a balsamic moon phase. And when we're talking about the moon in Virgo, Virgo is the mutable earth sign. Their ruler is Mercury. They're a feminine energy. So there's a receptivity that's coming with Virgo. Virgo, I find, has a way of, they work very well in the physical realm and with anything that has to deal with this earthly plane. And they are able to assess a situation and then move the pieces around in order to get what they want, whether that be if you're trying to, let's say, fix up your finances or solve any sort of problem, maybe something with the home space, something with relationships, something with oh, your future or something with your career. Virgo is a very strong sign of getting those things in order and figuring out what's working and what's not working, and then making those things that aren't working and either getting rid of them or repurposing them. So this, I find Virgo, moons and Virgos really invite us a chance to just like check in with the body, see how we're, and just get kind of grounded and see where maybe things have gotten a little out of hand. And then if you don't have the resources to solve, in which, you know, if you don't have, feel like you have the resources to solve the problem, finding someone who does, or learning the skill in order to get that thing in order. So that's just some ways I would feel to kind of work with this crescent, or work with the moon in Virgo. And I would feel, I'm getting like one thing too, just thinking in the waning crescent phase, since we are wrapping up this lunar cycle. Again, go over your intentions, see how you're sitting with that. Are there some things that you're leaning more towards than others? And then why is that? Is there, maybe you need to want to move another intention to a different, maybe different lunar cycle, or maybe something you want to pick up again another time possibly here. That's just another thing. I'm getting like a reviewing type of energy kind of coming through here as well. Now let's talk about the void of course moon, and then we'll get into the tarot here, because on Moon Day, the 30th of September, the moon is going to go void of course from 9:29 p.m. and it's going to go until Mars Day, the 1st of October, until about 3:20 p.m. So we're looking at about a 17-hour, 51-minute void of course, and the final aspect that she'll be forming is a square with Big Papa, Jupiter. And usually the aspect that she forms with that last celestial body, and I'm keeping in mind I'm working with the traditional planets, when that aspect usually flavors the void of course. And when we have a square, that's usually a call to action. That's when the planets are 90 degrees apart, so they're in the same type of modality. So we're talking about mutable signs or cardinal signs or fixed signs usually. And Jupiter is how we expand. Jupiter's how we find faith, Jupiter's how we affirm ourselves. And so if you're noticing there's some, I feel like pay attention to where there's some sort of maybe a resistance to a certain intention. Maybe this area happens to fall in your money house, and maybe you're like, oh gosh, like how am I going to budget these things? Like I'm gonna have to maybe do some changings here, do some things there, or maybe this is happening in your house of self, and maybe you're wanting to improve your speech, or maybe you're wanting to get into better shape, or maybe you're wanting to work on your sobriety, or whatever this may be kind of coming up, and see where maybe the faith is kind of waning, and where you might need some kind of extra assistance. Like, okay, you know what? In order to set this intention, I'm going to need to learn this prior to hand. So maybe you can start with this, and then kind of move things. And so again, kind of shuffle some things along. Just again, I'm getting that, like I was saying, that kind of review, kind of analyze the intentions that you're set. And if something is kind of bringing you down, how can you make it more approachable? So that's just something I feel to kind of think about during this void of course. But generally too, the void of course period of time, I like to think of it as a time of like reflecting on what happened during the time while the moon was in Virgo. What were some things that came up? Doing some deep meditation. It's not necessarily favorable time to start things up. There's usually not any kind of energy that the moon is providing. So starting up new projects is not always support. I mean, you got to do what you got to do, of course. You know, life is gonna life. But just something, if you can put some things off, kind of just allow this a time to, I like to take this as a time to kind of get the house kind of cleaned up a little bit, look at some things that you've left unfinished, kind of wrap that stuff up so that you can make more space to tackle on more things. So that's just a way I would feel to just kind of work with the void of course energy. And last thing, if you are wanting to work with these phases more in the, excuse me, work with these phases more intentionally, down in the description box below, I have a lunar group that I host every month. We're getting ready to start up here. The sign up to join for the the Libra new moon cycle is going to be closing here soon, and this is one that's going to be an eclipse here. So this is going to be really setting a very powerful intention. We'll be getting into that in like a few days here. And so if that's something that you're wanting to get involved in, you're wanting to set these kind of long, because when I work with the lunar cycles, I like to work with them in more of a long-term aspect. And I have more, so if you want to do like a reading, I could do more of a kind of like a personal, like a monthly thing as well, however you're wanting to work with these energies. But to sign up and join the Lunar Mansion is all down in the description box below. And if you have any questions about that or any other services that I offer, I have a link down there as well to book a free consultation with me as well. It's usually like about 15 minutes or so, just to kind of get to know you better, what you're looking to grow, and all those good things. So, but that's all I got for you there. So let's go ahead and switch over here. And just so you're all aware, these readings that I do, they're not gender specific readings, so apply these energies to people as they make sense for your situations. And then in order to set the mood here, I'm going to ring this lovely bell here, bring some high vibrations. So adjust your volume if you need to, but give this a few rings and then let's get into it. I really do love that. All right, let's get into this thing because we got this. I'm pretty sure we got this during when the moon was in Taurus. I like that this is coming up in Earth signs. But you got the Jade and Pink Lotus card here, which is a card of sink into silence. And this is Earth energy. And this is a card of reflection and tranquility. And that's interesting that I was talking about that I was feeling this energy of like analysis and kind of like reevaluating and making sure that things are feeling in alignment with what you wanted to set this intention for. Do you feel at peace with, okay, you know what, this is where I feel that I need to improve in this area. I feel that I'm able to meet this thing. Or is when you sit with this, it's just like, are you feeling a little anxiety? It's just like, maybe did I do too much with this? Or is this even the right intention? Like, are there some things that I want to shift around? Or maybe instead of like tackling 3 things, maybe I just want to set one intention. You know, I just feel like this is like kind of just reflecting on how you work through this cycle. Because this was, this was a very kind of unique cycle. We had an eclipse, that full moon eclipse that happened during this lunar cycle, and would have probably brought up a lot of emotions, possibly considered that it was happening in the sign of Pisces. And so I feel like if you're feeling any sort of like anxiety or any sort of fear, any sort of pressure, depression, whatever that is, sinking into that, and what can you do, that Virgo energy, in order to get into that sense of balance. Because keep in mind too, this moon is under the dispositorship of Mercury, who's now in Libra, just freshly into Libra. Mercury had entered Libra back in the 26th of September, depending on when you're watching this. And I find with Mercury in Libra, this can be where if you've been like, okay, I've been weighing these options, or maybe you've been kind of going back and forth with intentions, maybe talk about this with someone, like, you know, what are your opinions on this? Like, you know, just like maybe getting like kind of picking your brain or something. But I'm seeing too where it's just like where you've been maybe overthinking something. Maybe you're afraid that if you don't do this thing, or if you don't do it right, it's like maybe you're getting to like that perfectionism that Virgo gets attributed to. And it's like I'm getting an energy of trying not to let great be the enemy of perfect. I think I even said that in when I did the weekly reading for the Cosmos on my other channel, Alchemist Date. But let me get another card on this Jade and Pink Lotus here. So like when we get repeating cards, to just kind of elaborate on that a little bit more, kind of expand on that. Absolutely. Thanks, higher self. And we have I thought that said Libra. And you have the Golden Libyan Tektite. Yes, Golden Libyan Tektite. And this is a card of expansion. This is air energy, which we're just talking about. And this is a card of galactivations, initiation, and ancient Egypt. And that's interesting. With that ancient Egypt, I feel like there's this thing, maybe even I'm getting an energy of just like going back to not necessarily to ancient Egypt, unless that's where you're from, but more so just like a calling on more that kind of like that inner knowing, that higher knowledge, as far as like, let's say you've been, they say maybe the intentions that you set were something that you heard, maybe maybe you noticed like there's a certain trend that was going on that you're trying to get on board, but that may not be an idea, that what you thought would have been a good idea in theory, maybe in practice is not what you wanted to do. Maybe you wanted to start like a new workout routine, for example. You've been hitting the gym, but you've been finding it hard to stick consistently to something. So maybe this is about initiating a different type of activation. Maybe you're going to, maybe you work out from home possibly, or maybe you do it in a like a day. I think we were talking about with the moon, I think when the moon was in Leo, talking about maybe doing it in a like in a more unconventional way, maybe you're doing it in dancing, maybe you're joining like a yoga group or whatever this is. But this galactivations here, it's like I feel like there were a lot of downloads that may have come through during this cycle. And I do feel like there are, we're in this eclipse season. There's a lot of big activations, especially when we get to this new moon or that eclipse in Libra. There's going to be some bigger activations that are going to be going on in your chart that will be of just of a galactic nature. And it's just like, with that being said, is this the thing that you want? Is this the thing that you really think that you need? Is this going to fill up your life force, or was it something that was even like impressed upon you even? Let's get some tarot on this and get some details. Ooh, look at this. Man. Thanks, Spirit. So first card coming out here, Dr. Grant, which is the Hermit. That's Virgo energy. And then you have the 4 of Coins, the 2 of Baskets, the 8 of Sticks, and the 10 of Baskets. And the 10 of Baskets is like this wish fulfillment. And we all have dreams, I feel like, of abundance. We have this dream of like what a perfect happy family would look like, what a perfect relationship would look like, what a perfect home creation, all these things. But there are different ways of achieving this energy. The aces are the purest forms of the elements. And with this fire energy, are the intentions that you set up, are they really filling you up? Do you really feel that this is where you want to invest your energies in? Like, I sometimes picture with the 4 of Coins, I picture it as like a safe, as where you're saving up things. It is just like, are the things that you're depositing in your bank, it's just like, are they, that's interesting. I'm getting like are they just sitting there to look pretty? That's even interesting. I'm not like, I may need to get a little bit more on that one, but it's just like, are they just kind of sitting there, just kind of accumulating like these, like, it's like, are we just setting, let me get some tarot on that, or get a clarifier on that to find some better words for that. Okay. Thanks, Spirit. The 4 of Coins is clarified by the Mother of Knives here. And it's just like, and okay, so it's like, are the things that you're activating, or the things that you're initiating, it's really, I feel like, coming with this clarity. What are we, it's like, what are you investing in the long term, as far as with the 4 of Coins? And like, are you seeing this vision clearly, or are you able to hold this vision on your own? That's that's what I'm getting with that. Are you able to hold, is this something that you came up with, or was this like, where did this idea even come from, even as something like, is this like a trend that's coming in, that's going on here with Dr. Grant? Let me get a little bit more on Dr. Grant too. This is interesting. Spirit. Okay, so Dr. Grant is clarified by the Ten of Sticks and the Ace of Coins here. This Ten of Sticks feels like it's it's like when you reflect on the things that you're starting up here with the Ace of Coins, the coins, that's that earth energy, the things that you're creating, that you're wanting to manifest. Does this feel, it just feels like, does this feel heavy even? It's like, how are we expanding? It almost feels like maybe even like it's maybe you're trying to, it feels like things are taking on a bit too much, possibly. That's what I'm getting with that, and it's just being more disciplined in how we're maybe even like, I feel I'm even getting like a how you're maybe even investing your resources, whether that be your money, your energy, your time, with that Four of Coins with that Mother of Knives, and really kind of seeing clearly. I'm almost like getting, I had a message of like getting receipts even, and just like kind of looking over these sort of like transactions that are even kind of going down. Maybe you're taking some sort of like course, and maybe you're not getting the results that you're wanting to do, or that you're wanting to, and now it's a time to reflect on what you've been attracting, because I almost feel like the Two of Cups is Venus in Cancer, and I almost am getting this thing of maybe you were doing something, okay, maybe it's like you were doing something maybe for someone else. Let's say you were trying to work on, let's say maybe you're trying to improve your health in some kind of capacity. Maybe you're working on like your weight or something. Maybe one needed to gain more weight, maybe you wanted to lose weight, but it feels like it's like maybe you were doing it for someone else as opposed to initiating this thing for yourself, possibly. And just really kind of being very clear with that Mother of Coins, being very honest with that as well here. Okay, that's very fascinating. Let me get a little bit more on this. This is interesting. Oh, she's back. Okay, she's, yep, Queen of Knives is here to stay. Hold on. She's been on one. She's really making a strong point here. Oh, what's good? All right, so we have a Mother of Knives is back. She never left. Daughter of Baskets. The Bishop C.H. Mason, which is the Hierophant, that's Taurus energy. The Six of Knives. And here we are, Cancer, the Chariot. Wrapping up this cycle here strong. And what direction are you going? I'm getting like the train is making a pit stop right now. And the Mother of Knives is really, she's a prudent figure. She's a warrior queen. And I almost feel like I'm almost getting like a get out the way. Like as far as like people getting out of the way of your expansion. And maybe there's this needing to sink into silence. Because maybe this Four of Coins is like a bunch of people have maybe been just like kind of depositing like advice or things into your bank, and it's just gotten to where you're not sure what's going on even. And now it's like Bishop is he's been doing things a certain type of way, or maybe just a way that others has told him to do, which there's nothing wrong with structure. I feel like you can, I remember like really early on when I was just like looking into different astrologers and things along those lines, trying to expand my knowledge. That there was an astrologer that I really liked at first, and I still think they're a great astrologer. But there was a point where the expansion I noticed where I was hitting a ceiling, and I didn't. It was like, do I want to invest in this person a little bit more and to get this knowledge, or do I want to take this elsewhere? And the Daughter of Baskets is trusting that intuition as far as like the direction that you're going. It's just like maybe the it's not that maybe like it's just like maybe you've outgrown, maybe this is like a certain trainer or even like a certain, like apply this to your situation. But now it's like it's trusting on like a more internal type of calling here. It's just like, hey, I'm ready to take this, you take this to a next level, possibly, with this. It's like you're the Six of Knives is like you're ready to graduate. You're ready to move to different, yeah, to a different, yeah, let me get a little bit more with that Six of Knives. Oh wow, yeah, we're really moving on from something. Thanks, Spirit, because these Six of Knives is clarified by the Ace of Baskets and the Three of Baskets here, and it's just like I'm almost getting like this. That's interesting. I'm getting like a frustrated energy with the Eight of Cups. It's like maybe you've been feeling like trapped. I'm even getting with like the Three of Coins. This is like be a more of an intuitive feeling that's kind of coming through here. But it's like maybe you're needing to look for, I'm almost even getting this feeling that maybe either someone or something that you're maybe invested in is saying that you won't be able to advance unless you invest more. Those kind of like keeping. I understand have people kind of like having a business and things along those lines, but it's like almost like like intentionally withholding a lot of stuff in order to get to the next level. When you are able to tap more into your bank, maybe with that Four Coins, than you realize, you have more worth than you're giving yourself credit for here. And maybe it's walking away from those that, if you want to invest in someone, it's because you're getting a lot of quality. You're seeing that, you're noticing that, like, yeah, this is some good stuff. I'm getting meat and potatoes here. But if you're not feeling this sense of like maybe community, or that you've been able to celebrate, then it's time to move on with this. And this is something I'm getting with Dr. Grant, to try not to stress yourself out about whether you're going in. Maybe if you're going in a right direction with the Hermit to Dr. Grant. Okay, I'm even getting to this thing of us allowing, maybe you, because Jupiter's in Gemini, and Big Papa's about to go retrograde here soon, and maybe it's just now we're in a time where you've it's like, oh, and maybe that's what this is too. Maybe with that, because I was like, there's something I was trying to get out with that Four Coins. It's just like maybe you filled up your bank to capacity. There's no more room in the safe, and we're needing to kind of assimilate some of these things that have come through there. it's like stuff has been sitting, it's been doing good. You had all this information, all of these tools, but not able to do anything with them. It's like you wanted to, let's say you were feeling really gung-ho about starting up a new workout routine, but then now the weights are just kind of collecting. You invested all this stuff, but now the weights are collecting dust. The bench has not been moved. You've not been moved. It's just like now we're needing to, yeah, just kind of assimilate that. It's just like, all right, I have all this stuff, and something needs to be done with it. Whether I'm going to keep this thing, or maybe I need to sell some of this stuff, if this is literal things that we're talking about. Or okay, that's feeling better. I like that. But the interesting thing too, yeah, I'm even getting this thing here, the relationship from Taurus to Cancer to Virgo. Taurus and Cancer are in a sextile to one another, same with Virgo. And there's this excitable energy that's coming up that can create this really tremendous movement. But I feel this ancient Egypt, that galactivations. Yeah, it's something about returning to this state of source, and allowing that higher knowledge to speak through you. Now, it's not something that yes, you gotta seek it, but it's when you're sitting in that silence. You know what I mean? It's something now you've gotten new tools now you've got new tools for spirit to be able to speak to you, to get more inspirations. You know what I mean? It's like you can, yeah. I like that. Okay, that makes some sense. Very interesting reading here, Cancer. All right, let's get some advice from Mercury. Oh, we're gonna get one more. Oh, we're gonna get all those. Okay, a lot coming in for you here, Cancer. Thanks, Spirit. Okay, so you have, interesting. So you have the tears of joy and sadness, the affirmation for a healing heart. We were talking about that. Oh, that river. We were talking about that. Going with the flow. And, oh, I love it. And then you have the joy and delight card here. And let's switch back over. Because, that tears of joy and sadness, maybe again a lot may have came up for you during this lunar cycle. Something that required you to, or either required or is still maybe requiring you to kind of process, to heal whatever heart things that may have came up for you. But it's like, even though she's feeling sad here, it's like, even though she's feeling maybe sad on the externally, internally, it's just like, you're like, this is fine. You are healing. Just let it flow. Just let it flow right now. I feel Virgo energy has, of course, being Mercury ruled, has a tendency to overthink. Can really just get kind of overcomplicate things sometimes. And look at this. She's abandoned her paddle. She's surrendered this kind of some earthly thing, and just again allowing the emotions to feel, so that more of the joy can come in as opposed to the sadness. That this what may have seemed sad in the micro or in that moment is just something bigger, something more delightful is coming in the grand scheme of things. And we're going to get to this place of Ten of Baskets, where things are going to get fulfilled again, where you're feeling energized, and where you're feeling this passion here. But I even feel like even now that Six of Knives with the Chariot, even this might be where maybe you need to go. Again, maybe not necessarily. Maybe you want to go to Egypt, or but somewhere maybe different. Like maybe you're needing to remove yourself, go to a new environment to kind of get some perspective. Possibly, I love that. I mean, there's a lot of imagery of this boat, maybe going on a boat, maybe going for that's accessible for you, maybe going on a ferry, or maybe renting a boat for the day, or maybe even doing some sort of like some crew or some is it crew rowing, or yeah, something here, but you're flowing. I'm really just kind of taking in how she's taking in the sunlight here. I'm not sure if you can really see that there, but she's just kind of enjoying the journey right now. Things are just kind of moving along, and it's just like, you know what? Whatever this flow is, it's things aren't going to, you'll see things clearly very soon. Just calling on that inner warrior queen, or the mother of knives. She was tenacious in this. She came out promptly. She's like, no, I'm not done yet. You're not done yet, Cancer. I'm going to leave that there. I like that. And if you like that, Cancer, give it a thumbs up. And share this if you know someone who would benefit from this, this could help raise their vibration. And then subscribe to you, Chariot. Hit that bell button to get notified on all these videos each day. And then last little bit, if you're wanting to know what's going on in the weekly transits, I have videos that I do on my other channel, Alchemist 8. So come on over to there, and I also do some videos talking about different planetary placements and different signs and different houses. So, and that's something I'm working on getting that more consistent right now. It's been my schedule I'm adjusting to some things. So, we're going with the flow. Absolutely right now. We're flowing to joy and delight. So, but all that housekeeping is down in the description box below. But let me get your surprise card or cards here so I can get you out of here. Thanks, Spirit. Oh, how fascinating. You know what? So you have the Mukuna, one of those, one of that card, which is a card of journey. And this is the 16th card, which is Tower energy. And this is associated with Mercury and Uranus. And you know, Cancer, for some, because you got a lot of stuff of movement here. Maybe you're moving somewhere. Maybe this could be going on a ride somewhere. Maybe if you tend to drive places, maybe hopping on the public transportation. Maybe if this is available for you, maybe renting a car or something and going on a little journey. Maybe this is hopping on a ferry, maybe going on a plane. But I'm even getting just like a getting by water. Even maybe it's like going to like a lake or going to like a pond, a creek, something where you can kind of clear your head. You can tap into this kind of third eye here, tap into that galactivation, sink into the silence here, sink into and reflect and find some tranquility on this journey, but not let the process bring about this sense of stress, but bring about more of expansion. You're going through an initiation. We're all going through this initiation. So that's all. I'll leave that there, Cancer. Maybe just change of scenery could maybe bring about something. You may even have some fun along the way there, Cancer. Enjoy this, whatever that trip is. But until next time, keep raising that consciousness. Keep eyes on the moon, and I will catch you for that eclipse on the next one, Mars Day.